Hello guys, welcome to our channel. Today we have a special guest and she is Emma Espel. She is our host daughter, yes, because many years ago she decided to move to Brazil. She took an exchange program through Rotary and she lived with us for 7 months. Emma, I think I am curious and many others are also. Why did you decide to go to Brazil? How did it happen?
Yeah, I think it was lots of reasons, but I was graduating from high school, younger than most people, and I wanted to take a gap year in between graduating from high school in the United States and starting my studies at university. And I had not heard of a lot of programs, but there was one that I had heard of, which was Rotary. So I remember very clearly, having the conversation with my parents, and they were very, very supportive and sending in the application and meeting with the Rotarians to kind of go over the process. And through that year-long process, one of the main parts is deciding where you're going to go. And the way that it was done at the time, the way that it worked in the US in 2009 was you created a list of your top 3 countries, and then from there Rotary would interview you and determine what they thought was the best fit. And the interview panel, it always consisted of some Rotarians and some current exchange students, so students that were living in the US doing exchange. And anyway, so I, at the time, wanted to become a marine biologist. I was very focused on living somewhere where it was near the ocean or there was, research being done. I was so young at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of info, but I put Brazil as one of the places on my list, and after the interviews and that long process, they told me that Brazil was where I was going to go, but after that, nothing, right? You just know what country you're going to, you don't specifically know the region or the place, and this, you have to think back to 2009, right? We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook.
It was totally different.
It was very different. Everything was done by email, and it took a long time. So, and it was harder to kind of learn about other places. The information was there, but it wasn't, you couldn't look up an influencer that was living in Jaraguá do Sul. So I finally got the email saying where I was going to be going, and I was joking with you the other day. It came in the mail, and in the mail there was a DVD from the tourism board of the state, showing all the different sites of Santa Catarina. So I remember watching it and thinking, wow, it's so beautiful. And it was very different than what I expected, right? When Americans think of Brazil, they think of tropical and they think of the Amazon. So to be going to a state in the south, at one point I think in the video they even showed snow. So I was shocked and excited at the same time. And I think a few months later, I received an email from you introducing yourself and telling me that you were going to be my host family. So it was a long process, but part of it was in my control, right? I could pick the places that I was interested in, but it was in the hands of the Rotarians, and they thought that Brazil was the best fit for me. So, and I'm so grateful that they did.
Yes. And I think you took advantage of this experience, yes, because so far as I remember, you enjoyed a lot your exchange.